Hey everybody, it's Ruverick here with you today for our Haunted House Project update. And today we're bringing you our final installment. Now, the Monster Fighters Haunted House originally came out in 2012. It was set 10228. It had 2,064 pieces. Really cool design, great build. We liked it so much that we wanted to build it ourselves. The only problem was this set has been retired for quite some time. So we went on to the LEGO website, we downloaded the instructions and the set inventory, and then we went on to Bricklink and we ordered all the individual pieces that we needed to rebuild this house with a slight spin. The green is a nice color, however, the pieces were really far and between, and because of their rarity, it's even more expensive than other colors. So we talked and tried to figure out what would we like to do instead of just rebuilding the original house. Let's put our own spin on it. Let's make it a more realistic color. So we picked this dark tan, and instead of having the house open up in the scissor fashion, which is really intended to make for good playability, we wanted to follow the idea behind the modular system. So each level comes off individually. Over the next couple of minutes, we're going to show you a close-up of each floor, show you the things that we did differently, show you some of the mistakes we made, some of the things that we learned as we were building this, and hopefully you enjoy it. Let's take a look. So before we go inside, let's take a quick spin around the building. Here on the left side of the building, you can see where we've added more distressing, removing some of the bricks, replacing mini bricks with plates and tiles, using gaps, inverted slopes and cheese pieces to add a lot of character. And you can see the weathering and distressed look of that chimney. The back of the building is rather plain, but you can see where we've replaced the dark tan plates with light gray and dark gray plates and round 1x plates. It adds a lot of character. Here on the right side of the building, you can see more distressing. So starting on the first floor, you'll notice that we used the gargoyle heads from the Series 14 collectible minifigures, and we took the wooden boards that represented the front porch. All of the lines and the seams were lined up, so we just put smaller pieces on there and made the seams so that they did not line up with one another. Now I found a key on Bricklink. It very coolly fits in the front door. And there's the first shot of the sticker pack that we purchased from Bricklink. Going inside. Now this was in the original design, was to have a wooden support beam that goes across the top. Because we had already had these built into the original structure, we decided to go ahead and keep that wooden beam just because it added more detail. And you can see that we put wooden planks in the floor. They're not pushed in all the way, and that is just to add to that rugged, decaying look of the house. We've got pictures from the sticker pack. This is a rebuild of a grandfather clock from the Monster series. It was a polybag set that I saw on Bricklink and just took the pieces that we had and assembled with some slight modifications. those of you that have seen it or that have this polybag will see some of the changes that I've made, but pretty happy with the way that turned out. Now in the original design there was a split right here, and this opened like a clamshell. And to build this modular, we just built the floors individually and then put the tiles on top. Now originally this swung out so that the user or the individual could play with the fireplace, whether it was closed or open. It just repositioned it so that it was in a little bit better spot. We decided to go ahead and keep that function, and there's just a little bit of hidden treasure in there. I thought that was cool that we're able to keep that. In the original design, the fireplace and the chimney don't quite line up. They are offset from one another by maybe 1 or 2 studs, but that needed to be moved just a little bit to make it a little bit more realistic looking. This is another thing that we kind of struggled with the design of this because it was modular. I spent some time trying to figure out if I wanted to leave the second floor little window area stationary and attached to the balcony as the second floor pulled off, but I think that this works. The original design had a cauldron and the cooking area, and I think keeping with the original design of it, I think it looks good. And here we are on the second floor. The bureau is in the original design. And we added the skeleton. Those pictures in the frames are from the sticker pack from the original set. Now in the original design, the solid bone up there was a set of antlers. We used pieces close to the original design, and I couldn't get anything that I was really happy with. But I think that this is a little bit more mysterious. It's kind of cool, it's simple, it's clean looking without looking like Lego antlers hanging on the wall. And there's the stairs going down to the first floor. And this is that little seating area, or the little outcrop window area. As you can see, whenever this is lifted up, the tiled area stays. But I think that this fits really well, and it works well in its design. Again, we tiled the floor, pushing down only on one side of the 1x4 tiles, and it just gives that aged, distressed, falling apart look. All the furniture is in the original design. The writing quill and the letter on the desk, a little stool, and then this is a slight modification to what was in the original design for the little access panel that goes to the attic. I'll show you that in just a second. And here we are on the third floor and the attic. Little detail pieces. It's a little crate with a stack of newspapers and an old record. There's a record player. Those are stickers from the sticker pack. Really neat build. Once we got to the tapered roof, another stack of newspapers. And then this is closed. That seals up nice and tight. Just opens up right there. Now, ideally, I don't like having the two 1x1 side by side, but I ran out of 1x2, so that will have to work for now. But eventually I'll go back through And on the first, second, and third floor, there are a couple of tiles that need to be swapped out. But as it is with Lego, I don't know if any project is ever really done. And coming out to take a look at the chimney going all the way down. As you can see, this is keeping with the original design, using a couple of building techniques that just add to the distress and the decay of the chimney. And then also took a couple of tile pieces to represent maybe pieces of the house that are falling on the ground. And on the roof, we took black tiles and tiled the roof area to get rid of those studs. Some builders like to keep the studs because it keeps true with the Lego design and reminds them of what they're working with. We think that tiles really clean up the build and make it look nice. And last but not least is the front gate. This is based off of the original design. We just distressed it more by adding the round 1x1 tiles and using a more variety of types of bricks to add to the detail. Now, just as a recap, the original intent was to build this house for our Series 14 collectible minifigures so that they would have a place to hang out in our city, so that we could incorporate them into our city and that they wouldn't look quite so odd amongst the general populace. So this house is going to go up on our mountain. The original plan was to build this on a budget. We wanted to spend under $200 and we wanted to have it done by Halloween. So I think we've achieved that. We spent just under $200. If you go back to watch video number 1, you'll see the majority of the pieces that we needed to purchase, and that was the sloped roof pieces, the corner roof pieces, and the majority of the 1x2 plates and the 1x1 plates. We bought 1,100 1x2 plates, and that's the dark tan color. And then in the original purchase, I think we bought 200 of the dark tan 1x1s. We've ended up purchasing another 485 dark tan 1x1s, and then there's a couple of hundred round 1x1s of dark gray and light gray color. Additionally, we needed to buy the brown plates that are tiling each floor, and they are also boarding up the windows. And then some of the small details, such as the candlesticks above the bed and the brick pieces that we used for the majority of the fireplaces. So I think it's time for me to wrap up this video. It has been lots and lots of fun building this. I highly recommend it for those of you that are avid builders on a budget. You can start off by going to the Lego website. You can download the blueprints and the building design and the inventory. That'll give you the breakdown of all the pieces that you're going to need for any build that you want to try to tackle. And then you make you a list and subtract the pieces that you've already got within your current inventory, and then come up with a budget, make you a wish list on Bricklink, and then happy hunting. We hope that you liked this video. If you did, please give us a thumbs up, and if you want to see what we've got in store next, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and stay tuned to see what we're going to try to tackle.